Welcome to Tiara Tuesday with Princess Gigglebottom.
Hi friends, Princess Gigglebottom here with the next episode of Tiara Tuesday, bing! Where you don't have to be royal, but you gotta be real. If this is your first time tuning in, welcome to my channel. I'm so glad you're here. Don't forget to like this video and to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of the royal shenanigans. So over the past couple weeks, we have been talking about our new series called the Mind Makeover. And a couple weeks ago, we learned about our beautiful brains and how to switch the emotional part, the amygdala, out of the driver's seat and get the prefrontal cortex, the smart part, back on track and running the show. Since then, we've been learning some tips and tricks on how to manage our emotions and make sure that the smart part is the one in control and making the decisions. So last week we learned about the candle in the woods, where we use a candle to help us not get too far ahead or look too far behind and help to stay in the moment. Many of you have commented to me and told me how much this tool has helped. And I just want to let you know that makes me very, very excited. I'm so glad to hear that you're finding it helpful. Keep practicing. It will get easier, I promise. So on this week's episode of Tiara Tuesday, I'd like to teach you another tip or trick of something that you may be struggling with. So on this week's episode of Tiara Tuesday, as we move forward with the Mind Makeover, today we're going to learn about a chronic condition that many of us suffer from. PGB, what is it, you ask? Is it COVID? Is it the flu? Nope, my friends, it's something called I'm sorry-itis. And we're going to find out if you're struggling with the symptoms today. So let me ask you a question. People that struggle with I'm sorry-itis have a tendency to apologize for anything and everything, most of which is not even their fault. So if the sun doesn't come up right, we're sorry. If the wind is blowing the wrong direction, we're sorry. If you go to a restaurant and you ask the server for a particular menu item and they say we're out of that, you apologize and say, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have asked. If a friend of yours is having a bad day and they're cranky and agitated and have an attitude with you, you apologize and say, I'm sorry. Those are just a few of the symptoms of I'm sorry-itis. And I know a lot of us struggle with that. So typically people that have a lot of anxiety or maybe a history of trauma will often apologize. And one of the reasons that we do that is because we are trying to avoid conflict. So right out of the gate, you apologize because that's going to keep everybody calm, keep things smoothed over. So we do it to avoid conflict. We also do it because we feel like we are less than and we need to apologize for things that are not even our fault. We will also do it for my favorite reason, which is people pleasing. So if you say, I'm sorry, and you get the person to feel bad for you, now there are, of course, times when you should apologize. However, someone with I'm sorry-itis apologizes so much that it becomes a regular part of their dialogue and they don't even realize that they're doing it. So this can come from, again, someone who has a history of anxiety or maybe has trauma in the past. And one of the main reasons that we do this is to avoid conflict. So if you say, I'm sorry, and you keep everyone calm and no one gets upset, then you avoid conflict. The other reason could be because of to avoid feelings of disapproval or judgment from others, so you quickly apologize before they have a chance to do that. Another reason is that we feel less than the other person in the conversation, and so we will apologize right out of the gate, because that way we've already set the stage. We let them know that we're less than they are, and so we're sorry for even existing and breathing air. The final reason, and my most favorite, the one that I'm the most guilty of, is apologizing for people pleasing. So if I feel like I have upset someone, or if I've disagreed with someone, or there's any kind of a riff in the conversation, there are several reasons why people apologize. Sometimes we do this to avoid conflict. If we start to feel that a situation's getting heated and people are disagreeing, then we quickly apologize, because that will cause the situation to immediately calm down. We apologize, everyone feels better, and we can go on, even though we've probably slighted ourselves. The other reason is sometimes to avoid judgment or disapproval from other people. And the other reason, which is one of my most favorite and the one that I'm most guilty of, is apologizing for people pleasing. So if you happen to voice an opinion or maybe express an idea, then you get pushback from people, you immediately will begin to apologize, because that way you can apologize, kind of suck back in the words that you just said, and let them know that you're not worthy of breathing air and you don't know what you were thinking by speaking. So that is, those are some of the reasons that people will apologize over and over and over again. So what happens is we do this so often, as I said, it becomes part of our dialogue. We don't even realize it. And then it almost becomes a habit, something that you're saying that you're not even thinking about. So what I would like to do is teach you a tool, a tip or a trick that may help with this. So the next time you're faced with a situation and you want to apologize, what I would like for you to do is try to reframe that and say, thank you. Now, I know this is kind of confusing, so let me give you an example. Let's say you're supposed to be meeting a friend for lunch. You left the house on time, but you get stuck in traffic, and inevitably you're running late. So probably most of us, our natural reaction would be to go in there apologizing profusely. Please, can you forgive me? I'm so sorry I'm late. I didn't mean to make you wait. Your time is so valuable, and on and on and on. But instead, what I'd like for you to do is fight the urge to apologize. Walk in, you see your friend. Hey, it's great to see you. Thank you so much for waiting on me. Traffic was terrible. End of conversation. No groveling, no self-deprecation, just thank you. So I know this is going to be difficult. It's not easy to do, but what's going to happen is, by you putting forth the effort to stop the I'm sorry and replace it with a thank you, it's going to make you more mindful, and that is going to help break the habit. So that's just one idea that might help you. The other thing that I want to educate you on is that every time you say the words, I'm sorry, your brain hears you say, I'm sorry. And your brain doesn't understand that you mean, I'm sorry, please forgive me. It hears, I'm sorry, like I'm not worthy. So if you imagine the amount of times that you apologize within a 24-hour period, and then therefore the amount of time that your brain is hearing you say, I'm sorry, you can imagine maybe why you're feeling a little bit bad about yourself. So I want you to realize and remember that the things that come out of our mouth are heard by our brain. There's a direct connection there. So if you can change the words, then you can help change the thoughts. Or if you change the thoughts, you can help change the words. It starts with your brain, but we want to make sure that what's coming out of your mouth is positive, so that when your ears hear it and your brain hears it, that it's a positive statement rather than always saying, I'm sorry. So once again, if you can stop the I'm sorry and try to change it into a thank you, then that will help kind of break that connection and break that habit. So I want to talk more about this. This is a great topic, and I will definitely be back next week with more tips and tricks on how to break that habit and to avoid coming down with a bad case of I'm sorry-itis. But in the meantime, I want you to remember that when in doubt, you dance it out. Boom, 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 boom. And remember, life is short. Don't forget to giggle. Giggle with me. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate your support. I love you all, and I'll see you next time on Tiara Tuesday. Mwah.